Welcome back to On Point International Edition. James heading north of the border this weekend. Champion Tepin, fresh off her, well, super fresh off her Royal Ascot score. Breeders' Cup Mile winner, of course. Looking to get another stamp to the passport in the Woodbine Mile. A worthy favorite, but there is a challenge from overseas.
Yeah, there is. Mutakayev is a big-time challenger. Just got beat 2 lengths by Postpone, went third in his last start. So, you know, Postpone is really the favorite for the Arc and for the Breeders' Cup Turf. You know, he's reportedly going to come over. So he's flattered by those company lines, but obviously a huge test against Tepin.
Yeah, no question. And for me, it is those two. Looking at the prime power, which would only look at those who have started in North America, Tepin certainly over the domestic and Canadian foes, towers over them. And then when you look at the class ratings, which we do have for those European races, Mutakayev is even actually better than Tepin on those, and Postpone probably a big reason for that. I usually hesitate to go too deep when you have a 1-2 or 3-5 favorite. But to me, I mean, one of those two wins this race. What do you think, 90% of the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think they really do. I mean, there's a couple other Euros shipping in, but they don't look to be in the same class as Mutakayev. And, you know, Tepin, like you mentioned, it's her first race since Royal Ascot, which she was real impressive over there. But she had run 4 times before this year. So, I mean, you know, I think it was smart to freshen her up for the fall. She's won 7 in a row, and I know you're excited to see her perform.
No, absolutely, definitely, and I will be using her and probably Mutakayev in the pick 4, which includes the Northern Dancer. And the reason why I'm willing to just say, okay, one of these two will win, and they're going to be big favorites, doubling the cost of my ticket. But you and I were talking beforehand, and I agree with you. The favorites are vulnerable in the Northern Dancer, and maybe that's where we pick up a price.
Yeah, I think so. You know, the World Approval and Wake Forest are both, you know, have Grade 1 wins this year, but I think both are. I think a 1.5 miles is not the ideal distance for either. I think they both prefer a little bit less ground. And then the two other big names in the race, Big Blue Kitten and the Pizza Man, have basically been unplaced in every single start this year. So it's easy to say at this point that they've lost a step and are potentially vulnerable, and you know they're going to take some money. I mean, especially Big Blue Kitten for Chad Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pizza Man's a no name, and the million wasn't terrible. He was 6th, and
yeah,
you know, made what some would call a sneaky little move, but at the price, given his reputation and name factor, probably an underlay. And I've already forgotten the name of the European shipper I pointed out to you, but I mentioned those class ratings on Mutakayev, and he fits on those as well in the Northern Dancer, and he's only carrying 119, and he's been in the upper 120s in some of his races. So to me, it's definitely a race you can take a shot against the top choices.
I looked at Danish Dynaformer. He's a 2-time winner at a 1.5 miles on Woodbine's turf, including the Singspiel. He was a sneaky 5th, I thought, in the million. I really thought he'd made up a lot of ground late, and the other one is Buttoned Down. I looked at her a little bit. I mean, a mare in against males, but you know, she looks like she's going pretty good. A good effort last time against males, and she got a little bit of a chance in there.
All right, that's Saturday at Woodbine. Again, there's that guaranteed pick 4 that starts with the Northern Dancer's the second leg. Woodbine Mile closes it out. There's a pick 5 as well. And on Sunday, they have some 2-year-old stakes races, which we have not looked at yet, but I mentioned that not only because they have them on Sunday, and that's a big day there too, but speaking of 2-year-olds, Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby points races begin this Saturday under the Twin Spires, where they will end on the first Saturday in May. Have you had a chance to look at the Iroquois or Pocahontas?
I have. I mean, both races I thought came up very contentious. You can make a case for about half the field, I thought, in both races. The Iroquois has got some good-looking first-time starters. Blame Will won for Lucas, top last out for speed rating at Saratoga, and a pretty salty-looking maiden race on Alabama Day. Not this time, half-brother to Liam's Map coming off a 10-length maiden win at Ellis for Romans. And then you've got the Looking at Lee, Looking at Lucky Colt that's won 2 straight, including the Ellis Park Juvenile. And Thirst for Life was 3rd to Clempton, the Best Pal. and recruiting ready, of course, second in the Bashford Manor, and second disqualified from that spot in the Saratoga Special. So lots of options in there. I sort of like Thirst for Life. I was there that day in early June when he broke his maiden at Churchill by 6 lengths. I don't think he'll be the favorite, so that's who I'm leaning towards, but really looking forward to diving more into those races. Really big cards that day at Churchill.
Yeah, I think, and I wrote about this on the blog, we'll put a bunch of links in there, but coming off Kentucky Downs, the last 3 years they've had the September meet, they've run with Kentucky Downs, and it just seems now, being at the end of that meet, Kentucky Downs is over, there won't be any overlap. It looks, at least on the first weekend, to not be your garden variety old Turfway card. This is actually a Churchill level meet, it seems. Yeah,
pretty exciting. I mean, there's 4 stakes races, and the Locust Grove I thought came up pretty. Has a couple nice graded stakes winners in there, and then even the Open Mine with Hot Chocolate and others in there. So yeah, it's a pretty strong opening Saturday card there.
Yeah, no question. And opening day is Friday. Saturday post pushed back to 2:30 to give the game day folks Louisville, Florida State. Hopefully those traveling up from Florida will check out Churchill Downs as well. So a later post on Saturday. The Woodbine Mile isn't until after 6, so plenty of late afternoon action.
Right.
It's going to be a great day of racing.
Yeah, it will be. Looking forward to your what you have to offer up there in Canada.
Yep, I am as well. Hopefully some winners. I will be at Woodbine, so follow our Twitter at Twinspires, live updates and all that. James, I'm sure will have some picks as the day goes on, and we'll talk to you next week to figure it all out.